you like the Palo Santo?
Welcome back to Sherry It's a Process, where we talk about life as it actually is.
Zenfully chaotic and very much a work in progress. I'm Mercedes.
And I'm Anais. How are you?
I'm good. I'm very, very tired. I had 4 hours of sleep. I went to a ball, but...
Why did you have 4 hours of sleep exactly?
Well, I went to sleep at 6 a.m. I partied until 4. Then I was texting someone until 6. And then I had to wake up at 10 to go to therapy. Yay, I'm going back to therapy.
Have a round of applause, please. Add in the applause here.
And I bow and everything. Anyway, we actually wanted to talk about our weekend together in Paris for the intro, and I feel like we sidetracked so fast.
I just said, how are you? And you were like, you went down a sidetrack here.
Because it was like, I am not very functioning, clearly. No, this is going to be a fun one. This is a fun, lighthearted episode. I don't really need to be functioning, right?
After a that is a hard word to say. Fun, lighthearted weekend in Paris together.
Exactly. Thank you. We're going full circle. Love it. That was really good. It was so good to be back in Paris. I really don't miss how dirty it is, but I miss everything else. Truly.
No comment. Can't
I am
say anything about the dirt here.
It's part of the charm, but I don't miss it. Also, the district you live in, it really is not that dirty. It was like everywhere else, I feel it's much worse.
Yeah.
But
it was
great. It was
my
a fun
district
weekend.
Is obviously the best, but should we go into today's topic before everyone gets bored and turns the podcast off?
I feel like our weekend in Paris is very interesting and valuable. But I guess we're going back into that a bit later anyway. At least the dirty bits.
Stay tuned. Also,
there we go. We got them interested again.
I'm sorry, Mercedes' mum, Mercedes' dad, and maybe my parents too. If maybe also...
I know they might not, they should, they maybe not, they maybe don't listen to this one, guys. Just skip this one. We love your support. Skip this one, go to the next one.
I mean...
Unless you want to know.
I'm going to put this out to my mum. Mum, it's not about me, so you're welcome to continue.
Yeah, mum, dad, it's about me. Oh no.
Okay, shall we start?
All right, story time. So this is a little while ago.
So shall I give you a little intro? I'll give you a little intro and then you can take it away.
You want to intro?
Okay.
Sure, go for it.
Everyone imagine back couple weeks ago. It's a rainy, cold, might be snowy day in Vienna, but Christmas lights are out and there's a Christmas cheer in the air. And, you know, everyone's kind of feeling that Christmas spirit. Those days before Christmas, everyone's kind of happy and cheerful, but work is slowing down. And take it away.
That was a perfect intro. The one part that you forgot to mention, I mean, the cheers there, but also everyone's having Christmas parties. And for some reason this year this last Christmas, I went to quite a few Christmas parties actually. More than I think I've been to in my entire life. It was great. So much fun. And one of those Christmas parties was a house party. It was like they have like a little hobby band going on, and each band member like invited a bunch of people and they had a house party, and it was they kind of played some songs, and it was fun. It was just good vibes. And I didn't know a lot of people at this party. Also, an ex of mine was there. It was all like, I was kind of like, meh. And some friends left early, and then I was kind of on my own until these two guys walk into the party.
Dun, dun, dun.
And
please add that sound.
And I noticed them because one of them was like, I was like, wait, this guy looks really, really good. It was kind of dark as well in this house at this point, so I wasn't quite sure, but I felt like one of them looked quite good. And, okay, so one of these guys was the friend of the host, and we're naming him...
Niall.
Nice. And...
Can I just quickly say something?
Yeah.
For privacy reasons, obviously, all the names will be changed. Sorry, guys. I
Oh,
know
this
it's
is why
juicy
I would, like-
gossip. That's why that just happened. Should have
Thank you
said
for
that
clarifying.
earlier, before the whole story time started. But none of the names are real, and
No,
you're
no
just going to have to
locations
accept
will be
that.
named.
Except
no.
it was
This
in
is
Vienna,
just,
because we already shared that.
Well, yeah, because I am in Vienna. But no. This is all under wraps. Okay, I don't want to get them in trouble either. Or myself. Anyway, okay, so Niall is the friend of the host, and he comes in and he brings a friend of his. And his name is gonna be...
Harry.
Exactly. So Niall and Harry are at this party, which sounds really funny. And
They look nothing like One Direction, by the way.
no, nothing at all. It just came up and it was funny. Anyway, so like they're hanging out, and like I'm also hanging out with the best friend of the boyfriend of the host. His name, for the sake of this episode, is going to be
Quentin.
Quentin. Okay. I love that I let you choose these names. This is great.
Hey, you chose
so-
Niall.
That's sure I did, but Quentin. Okay. All right. So Quentin is very important to this because he ends up being my wingman, right? And he has a girlfriend, but like we're hitting it off and we're connecting really well, and we're just like platonically chatting and like getting to know each other, and it was a good time. He was like, he didn't really know anyone, I didn't really know anyone. We connected. It was nice.
Buddies.
So yes, buddies, exactly. Yeah, it was just kind of like immediate connection. You know, you just have that with people. It's nice. Anyway, so very early on, I was kind of like, my ex is at this party, meh. Maybe there's someone like cute here that like, I mean, I literally just broke up with someone. I wasn't necessarily looking for anything, but I was like, I could, you know, kiss and distract myself.
Also, just quickly, the ex you just broke up with is not the same ex that was at the party, just to clarify.
Correct. This is sounding to be very bad for me.
Hence,
I
the
have
parents
too
have
many
been
exes.
warned.
This is getting messy. Okay, anyway, yes, no, you're correct. The ex at the party I broke up with many, many years ago. He now has a fiance. Like, it's all good. It's all fine. I don't particularly enjoy him, but that's beside the point. I can be in a room with him. It's all good. So, yes, back to Quentin, right? I'm hanging out with Quentin, having a good time, and I'm kind of going like, oh, you know, I just broke up, like, blah, blah. Wouldn't mind, you know, kissing and distracting myself a little bit. Not anything serious anyway. It's not like I'm good at this whole dating game. I was out of it for 3 years. I don't know what the hell I'm doing. But Quentin is hella bored and he needs a project, and he goes, I got you. And I was like, okay. And this Harry, who we're also calling Hot Harry in this episode sometimes because he was so hot, he shows up at this party with his friend Niall, and I notice Harry immediately and I go, who the hell is he? And the host figures out for me, because I immediately ask her, the host figures out for me that he is very, very single. And I go, that's amazing. I'm very, very single. Quentin goes, I got you. Let me set this up. Somehow, with a bunch of back and forth, I'm not going to go too much into detail. I do want to keep this short. We end up, the three of us, Quentin, myself, and Harry, in front of the kitchen. Quentin introduces himself to Harry. They end up chatting. I end up getting involved. I end up introducing myself. Next thing you know, Quentin has disappeared, just poofed, and I'm alone with Hot Harry, not really knowing what to say because I'm awkward as hell, to be honest. But for some reason, we hit it off. There was a lot of flirtation right from the beginning. He was dressed to the nines. He looked so good. I was kind of dressed up very nicely as well compared to everyone else. Like, I was wearing this really nice silk dress. I looked good. So I was feeling good too. And it just clicked. It was great. There was this weird thing as well. I'm not sure how this happened, but at some point he was like, oh, let's tell everyone we're Swarovski siblings. And I went, okay, why not? Because, like, it's silly, it's fun, let's go with it. So it was just like, that was the vibe. It
What
was
was
just
the
silly and banter.
What was the reason behind that?
Well, because we were both really, I don't really know, but I think it was because we were both really well dressed compared to, like, we were quite fancy dressed. It was a chill house party, but we were like, you know, we were dressed very fancy compared to everyone else. And then we like, I guess we wanted to come up with a backstory of why we were the only ones that were dressed nice. So we were like, we're come from the Swarovski family. It was dumb. We didn't even look alike. Like, we don't look like siblings.
Yeah, next thing, you had a crush on him. Why siblings?
Yeah, that was questioned at some point during the evening, and it was a short moment of reflection where we realized that might have been a little inappropriate.
I mean, you know, there's the whole like American rich scene movies with like step siblings having stuff and all of that.
Oh,
But still,
God.
that gets messy. Like I'm having like serious Kopfkino here.
No, it was definitely inappropriate, and I think we realized that quite quickly, and we kind of dropped that very quickly as well. We were bullshitting this one person at the party quite a bit, and I don't think they were really believing us, but also they were quite drunk, and I think they wanted to believe us. And then when we ended up, spoiler alert, kissing later on, I think at that point they clocked that we were lying to them. It was don't ask. It was weird, but that was the vibes, right? That was the vibes that I had with him immediately, where it was just banter, it was just a good time, it was just silly, it was fun, and I liked that. I needed something lighthearted, silly, and a lot of back and forth. And at some point he also like asked me for my number, and I was a bit hesitant. And then I asked him, like, well, where are you planning to take me out to? And he wanted to take me to a doona place. Which, is that like the English word? Can you say doona in English?
Well, it's a doner kebab. But, yeah.
Yeah, he wanted to take me out to a kebab place. And I just said, I flat out refused. And I only gave him my number once he changed his mind on where we were going. So it was just fun. It was banter. At some point, it was all like, he was like, oh, can I kiss you? And I was like, this feels very early on in the night. I was like, this isn't really, no, I feel very insecure about this right now. And then later on, it was just like, it was not getting like more and more intense. It was very intense. We had very intense eye contact, and like, it was very sexy. He was so hot. I still to this day can't get over it. I think I really hope none of my exes listen to this, but he might have been the hottest, like, guy. It was great. It was great. I loved it. It was a great ego boost for me that he, like, there were all these other women at the party, and the fact that he wanted to, like, talk to me, I was like, this is nice. I like this. It was fun.
Gave you the confidence you needed to chat with him.
Yeah, it really did. I loved that about it. That was fun. I feel like I'm trailing off a little bit or repeating myself. But basically, we ended up like dancing and just like laughing more. And at some point I was like, oh, fuck it. I can't help it. Like, let's kiss. So we did. And it was nice. I feel like maybe in retrospect, because it's been a little while and I had some retrospection, I feel like maybe it wasn't as intense as I thought it was going to be. I think I built it up in my head way too much.
You mean kissing someone else? Or what do you mean by that?
No, specifically him.
What? Because he was so hot and it was like, oh my god, he's going for me and you can't believe it.
Yeah, and like there was so much tension that was building up. And then the kiss was a little like, it was nice. It wasn't a bad, like he wasn't a bad kisser. It was just wasn't, I was expecting fireworks and they just weren't. It wasn't fireworks.
Okay, I just have to say something. Obviously, now we're recording this with retrospect, but at the time when you first called me and you told me about all of this, I think there was like fireworks and oh my god, he's so hot and wow this and wow that. It was just like gushing.
But this is the thing. I was so blinded by his hotness, right? That now if I like just the act of kissing, just the act of the kiss really wasn't that exciting. And I think I can also say that because since then, I have kissed one other man. And, like, that second one was, I mean, so much better.
I think
so much hotter.
I'm not allowed I don't know if I'm allowed to say this, but I think there was history with that guy, and that's probably why there was.
No. There was no history. Sounds bad. There was no history. He has been a very good friend. That's the only history. I've known him for a long time, but I've never kissed this man before until recently. But you know what I mean? It was just, there was so much expectation. And then I think it was kind of like, maybe in retrospect, maybe a little disappointing. Anyway, and no, for sure, I was very much gushing over this man, and I definitely still am in some ways. I think he's gorgeous, and I don't think I'm never gonna change my mind on the fact that he is a gorgeous man and perfect height, and it was just great. So, like, when do I find a guy that's taller than me? Well, he was. Shut up. You're getting ahead of yourself, Anais. You're getting ahead of yourself. We have too many story
it juicy,
times.
Okay?
Also, I'm getting hot now. I need to take off my sweater.
I thought we didn't like hot, Harry. Which one makes
it?
I'm gonna stop. I'm sorry, guys. I shall get all flustered.
Oh, this is getting so inappropriate. Anyway, this is not supposed to be a dating podcast. It just, I guess, a recent experience, which counts. And
she says fanning herself.
Shut up. It's really warm in here. I'm having a hot flash. I swear. Oh my gosh. I need to put my hair up. I'm also getting, anyway, I'm getting ahead of myself. We were saying that, well, I mean, talking about him and stuff now in retrospect, I think everyone wants to know what happened. And basically, I gave this man my number. He got in a cab, Uber, whatever, and he said that he was going to text me. This man never...
Hold on.
What?
So he was going to text you and not take you to the kebab place, but take you to a fancy restaurant, no? That was the expectation.
Yes. He said he was going to take me out somewhere nice. He said he was going to message me. He said he wanted to see me again. And the very last thing he said to me before getting into an Uber, it was, I'm going to text you. And I go, well, you have my number. And I never hear from him again. So, boo that. Maybe that's also why, in retrospect, the kiss was shit, you know?
Definitely wasn't shit at the time. I had the phone calls.
Maybe.
I have the receipts. But I do agree with the kind of the reflection and the kind of post period. If the texting isn't very good, or the kind of the spark is gone after kind of the 40,
it's just not as exciting anymore.
Yeah, after the 42 hours is kind of a bit gone. But 48 hours, I think it's 48. Sorry, yeah. 2 days of 48 hours. Math.
I was like 40. What is she? Should I ask? Should we just leave it there?
We're out of
48
practice,
hours.
Okay?
I think it took longer than 48 hours.
Yeah, but I feel like, for me at least, back in the day when I was dating, I feel like if you kind of have a meet up with a guy and then there's 48 hours of kind of excitement and
yes,
bubbles and butterflies, and after those 48 hours, if there's nothing, it's kind of a bit
it subsides.
You're constantly checking the phone. Every time you get a message, you're kind of excited that it's him, and then you're disappointed and annoyed because it's a sister or a sibling or a friend, and you're like, ah.
Yes, exactly that.
But basically, Hot Harry missed the 48-hour window.
Yeah, he missed the 72-hour window. He missed the 1 week window. He missed all the windows. This man never showed up again. And I think for me, it was just very triggering because I hate it. Hate it. It is the worst thing on this planet Earth for me personally when a man says he's going to do something and doesn't do it. It is the most triggering thing ever from me. It's horrible. And that's exactly what happened. And I feel like the universe just went, here, now deal with this. And I went, I don't wanna. But I ended up anyway. And I probably did something stupid. And again, in retrospect, you always know better. I ended up texting him because it was easy to find him on Instagram because of like the friendship connections. I ended up messaging him. I don't regret messaging him because I think it really helped clear my head. But turns out he just is an ass. He just sucks. And
why so?
well, he texted me. It was really weird. He texted me back within like 30 seconds because it was a bit of an insulting message I wrote him because I was annoyed because I was like, did I give you the wrong number or did you get scared? I wanted to poke the bear for obvious reasons because, you know. And he goes, no, all good, just been busy. 30 seconds. I think I was like, well, was it like a minute after I texted him? He immediately responds. He says that like, no, like he just wanted to defend himself and asks, how am I doing? I go, well, I'm good. How are you? I have not heard from this man since, and it's been over 2 weeks now. And that for me was the last like, okay, never mind. Don't need you. We're good. I really now feel like I can move on. Before I was just like, are you an ass? Or are you not? Like, what's going on? And it's true. Like a friend of mine was like, if he wanted to, he could have just texted you on Instagram if he didn't have the right number.
I'm pretty sure I said that.
Oh, okay. I was recently also talking to another friend who said the same thing. But I feel like all of you guys said that. I feel like all my girlfriends were like, if he wanted to, he would. And I was like, yeah, but also like, I want to know. Like, that's the kind of person I am. I want to know. Maybe it's the autism. I don't know. But I just like, I need answers, people. Give me answers. And him just going like, coming on to defend himself and then disappearing immediately. I was like, I don't need this man in my life. This showed me everything I needed to know. Anyway.
It's sometimes good being left on red because it gives you perspective and you can be like, no, it's not a bad thing being left on red.
It's true. In this case, it really wasn't. I usually hate it, but in this case, it really wasn't because I was like, this isn't the energy I need or want in my life. I want a guy to want me. And if you don't, clearly, then like, move on. Anyway. I have another follower on my Instagram.
He followed you?
Yeah, he did. He not only texted me back within 2 minutes, but he also started following me. And I'm pretty sure he's been watching my stories. And it's weird. It's weird. The whole situation is strange. But I also follow him and I also watch his stories. So I guess that's a relationship status now.
Welcome to 2026. This is how situationships start.
I'm like, what is this? Is this what dating is like? I don't want this. This is not. Anyway. It was hilarious. I feel like I learned a lot from it. It made me laugh. And I'm like, now it's been over a month from this whole situation. And I feel very much like I can laugh about it. The moment was fun. It was what it was. We're moving on. I also really wasn't in a very good place in December anyway. So, for that, I feel like and then I still like got a really hot guy. I'm like, we did well and we're just going to leave it there. So yeah, that's it really. It was good. Felt good. It was the ego boost. Why not?
And I mean, I think why we chose to share this story, I think kind of also brings us to the kind of topic of future episodes that we're going to be focusing on a little bit at the moment. And we kind of probably introduced that a little bit with the last episode as well. We're going to try and be focusing a little bit on dating, being single. What does that look like? What do relationships often look like in 2026? And different kind of, can't think of the word.
Romance.
Yeah.
I guess also not just single life though. I mean, it just happens to be that we're in two very different situations, which is also kind of nice to get two different perspectives.
Yeah.
I am very, very happily single. I have no interest in being in a relationship anytime soon. I've been in too many in the last 10 years. I am done, at least for now. But also you are in a very stable and like long-term relationship now. And I think a lot of the things that we're going to talk about are interesting for both sides in different ways. And I think that's kind of a fascinating part to look at. It will just be like a couple episodes or next couple episodes that are about this. I don't want to turn this podcast into a dating podcast or dating advice podcast.
No, it's I mean, we say it at the beginning, right? Figuring out life
experience. Exactly, life experiences. And this is just something that I think has been on our mind for a while and is very prominent because I'm obviously recently single, and coming back into the dating life after 3 years is a bit of a bizarre situation for sure, especially because I feel like a lot has changed. I mean, there's so many more apps than 3 years ago.
I know. I was talking to
mind blow.
It's crazy. I was talking to a friend of ours who's also he's been single a little bit longer than you, quite a bit longer, but he's been using apps.
Okay.
And he every now and then kind of gets into a relationship and then it kind of fizzles out again. But there's so many different apps at this point that, yeah, certain ones are for certain things and you know how you sign up, what exactly you're going to be signing up for.
Yes.
And
I've heard of this.
In the app.
I don't know what they are, though.
Oh, it's okay. I can get you information on that. But we're not
Yes,
on a dating
please.
app, so this is going to have to be private. I just said we're not a dating app. We're not a dating advice podcast. That's what I meant to say.
I'm also really not interested in the apps. They scare me.
Yeah,
They really, really
but
scare me.
one quick thing. In some of the apps, you can toggle between if you just want to hook up and then you swipe for hookups, or if you want a serious
really?
relationship. I know, I thought that was fascinating.
You can actually, like, not just put it in your status, but, like, specifically look for that.
Yeah.
Oh, that's... Wow. It's only been 3 years. I feel like a lot has changed,
Yeah, and
though.
there's so many apps out there.
Okay. Well, did you bring some questions? Why don't we move on?
Yeah.
A little bit, because I feel like we're sidetracking.
I did. Okay. Maybe you've already said this with the whole app talk. Maybe I'm living my fear through you. But what are your fears about being newly single and re-entering the dating world?
Just the sheer sentence of re-entering the dating world is terrifying. I would consider myself not re-entering the dating. What did you say? Field? Is that what we called it?
No, the dating world.
Oh, world. Okay. I think it's terrifying. I think I've also heard so many horror stories from friends that, like, I really don't have the energy to be spending on, like, looking for things and, like, meeting up and talking to multiple people. I don't think I can do any of that. And I think all of that scares me. But I think also what scares me probably the most, which is maybe, like, the most honest and, like, personal answer, is that I am someone who jumps into things very quickly. And I am really scared of meeting someone and then jumping into something again very quickly or too quickly. And I think that's also why I'm very much trying to avoid that realm.
But I think that's also something we can probably, two things I think we can also have in one of the future episodes, which would be fun. Firstly, looking at that and discussing that, because I think a lot of us, when there's a possibility of a new relationship, just jump in, head first and go for it. And then 6 months to 3 years down the line, they're like, oh crap, what have I got myself into?
Well, I think it's just important. I don't know what slow. I mean, for me, it was like a month was slow, which it really isn't. Before, like, really, like, I don't know, putting labels on it. I have two girlfriends, and I've been really loving watching them. One of them, it's now been a year, and she doesn't call him her boyfriend, which I kind of love that. I think she's starting now. I'm not really sure. But it's been a long time. And the other one is also, like, really taking her time, and it's been a lot fresher. I think it's been like, what, 2-3 months now, but she's like taking her time with it, and I think it's really like, oh, I forgot the word. I think it's honorable. I think it's great.
I mean, in my relationship, I did the same thing. I know it was 3 years ago, and you probably don't remember.
Did what same thing? Well, you refused to call him your boyfriend for a long time, no?
Yeah, he was my
Guy
person thing for about the first year.
Or we just called him by name.
Yeah. I think it's just
I guess it was your first proper serious relationship as well, actually, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was.
I wonder if that changes something.
But
I don't know.
I think I wasn't ready mentally. I had a lot of not mental health, but I had a lot of kind of figuring out myself to do, and it just seemed very committal to call him my boyfriend. Whereas the difference between you and your ex now, but we kind of went into 2 relationships at the same time, I feel like he was your boyfriend quite quickly.
Well, I think, like, this is all in retrospect, right? But I think, because I literally talked about this with my therapist today. It was about my impulsivity. And it can be a very good thing, and it can make me a very spontaneous and fun person. But it can also get me into situations that aren't so good. And also the way I asked him to be my boyfriend was super impulsive. It was literally while we were working behind the bar. I just turned to him because, and this is like the reason why I don't think we were really set up for success anyway. Again, this is all in retrospect because I couldn't admit that to myself. But I asked him because I was so jealous of all these other girls hitting on him. And I was like, well, I know we did say we were going to be exclusive and just kind of date each other and see where it could go, which we should have done for at least 6 months.
And not moved to Norway after 6 months.
I should have taken my time with it, yeah. But I got so scared that any of these other girls coming around. Also, there was a lot of alcohol involved back then, so like I wasn't making sensible decisions anyway. But it was nightclub work. Anyway, I got so scared and I asked him, and then I was just like, oh, I just did that. And then he just kind of, I guess out of panic, said yes, and that was it. In retrospect, that might become a very, like, I remember telling the story and people were like, oh my god, that's so cute. And it was like a cute romantic story. But it was actually from a place where it wasn't really that cute or romantic. It was more of a panic impulsivity moment. But again, you know, in retrospect, you're always smarter. But now we learn. And maybe I will be able to just take my time.
Is that kind of the way that people get into relationships now, or with, because there's the whole no labeling and not being able to put anything, you know, not label it and not define the relationship. Is that how people now, and then at some point it just gets so ridiculous that you're like, okay, well, yeah, to be honest, we've been sleeping together now for X amount of months, years, maybe we should call it
I really don't know. I really don't know what it is that people like want to label it so quickly or don't want to label it at all. I really haven't figured that out I mean, I know in myself that it's always been a very possessive situation, always scared of the other person leaving, for sure. It's not coming from a very healthy place or like a loving place, to be honest. But I've always felt like I was the only one obsessed, or not the only one, but one of the very few obsessed with these labels. I feel like a lot of people around me were able to just drop any kind of label and just trust that this person is just who they're gonna be with. And I've always really respected that, because I was like, I feel way too stressed about that. Or a lot of the time I did.
I mean, I think for me, it was the reason I couldn't put a label on it for so long is because I just didn't feel ready. I felt...
Which is totally fair.
But I was completely the opposite to you. I was like, if I label this, forgot my point now. But like, if I label this, it becomes real, and he's, you know, it's serious, and I can't walk away anymore.
And that, yeah, versus I was the one who was like, I don't want him to walk away. Because I knew I wouldn't, because I'm a very, very loyal person. And a very, like, as you know, as long as you don't hurt me too many times. You can hurt me a few, but as long as it's not too many, I'll still be there. I'm not going to walk away very quickly, which obviously has bitten me in the butt a couple times. But I'm always scared that the other person will, which versus I guess you were afraid that like you couldn't anymore and your freedom was taken away, which I never saw it that way.
Yeah, I think for me it was the freedom. That's probably a good way for me to put it, because that was the reason.
Or the idea.
Yeah, the idea, because he was, I mean, we were living together at the time, and he was there, 5 days a week?
You and me.
Yeah.
You and me were living together and he was there all the time.
Yeah.
He had half moved in because it was closer to his work.
True.
No, but that wasn't the only reason, obviously. But he was there a lot, for sure. Right, but at the end, before I left. Yeah. No, it's true.
I think from the beginning he was there a lot, but that's not the point. Okay, I have another question. Now that you're obviously newly single, and we've had our first kind of night out together.
We had our last weekend?
Yeah, since you've been single, channeling back to 2022, 2023.
The last time I was single was before October of 2022.
Okay, so 2022. Am I a good wingman?
Oh, okay. You said that was a nice setup right there. Very nicely done. You are an incredible wingman.
Thank you.
I was very, very pleasantly surprised. There's a bit of a backstory to this. And again, very nicely set up. Not gonna lie, you really had I'm impressed. I'm actually kind of speechless. Yes, no, you are. I mean, we were talking about this Quentin guy from the Christmas party, right? Which was very smooth as well. I'm not gonna lie. But what you did this last Saturday, I was impressed. Mostly impressed because I did not see it coming. I had no idea. And I always know, right? Like I see things and I see conversations and I see glances being exchanged. Like I'm getting me to like be surprised about things is.
Well, you thought it came from him, right?
I did, and that's why it was so surprising.
But also quickly,
he was dumb and he had no idea.
I think quick backstory or backtrack. I think he was obviously a friend from back when we were working the bars. 2023.
He was my work bestie.
Yeah, so 2022.
2022. Oh no.
Anyway, 22, 23.
End 2022, beginning mid 2023. Yeah.
And we kind of reconnected with him whilst we were here in Paris, and we'd spent kind of 1.5 nights with him where you'd kind of been subtly flirting with him, but not.
I thought I was being pretty obvious.
I think you weren't. I mean, you were being obvious to me and to probably people from around, but not to.
He didn't get it.
Yeah. But at some point, I just got so frustrated because at this point it was like past midnight on the second night, and I was like, he's just not getting it. And you were kind of more and more like, just like, he's not getting it. So at some point you were like, I want to go and dance. So you walked off to the dance floor, and he was with a friend, and it was kind of like a, 200-meter walk to the dance floor in this bar, and you'd gone off, and at some point I go to him and I was like, I just kind of gave it to him straight. I'm not going to say what he said, what I said to him, because if there are some
it doesn't really matter. You made it very clear that I like him.
Yeah, I was kind of like,
That's it.
Mate, go for it. But I very kind of straight and clear and just like, I think he's Dutch. My Dutch German side was like, I'm going to connect you on a level that's like,
you get it.
if you go for it, you have to be like, if you don't get this, I don't know, he's not worth our time. But
no.
I just made it, clear to him.
It was so, but okay, so my side of that, because I had no idea this was happening, and I was like, I'm gonna go dance now. And I did. I went on the dance floor. I was like other friends there as well, and I was hanging out with them. We were dancing, and it was a good time. And then I see you guys come up, and I see him come up, and he was really close to me, and I basically just dragged him on the, like, I physically grabbed his shirt and literally dragged him on the dance floor. I was like, you're gonna dance with me now. I've been waiting for this. I've been asking you to dance with me. And he did. And I was a little surprised of like how okay he was all of a sudden. Yeah. I was like, oh, maybe he did get the message finally. And I mean, obviously things, you know, one thing leads to the other. Like, we're kissing on the dance floor and it was really fun. And just, you know, it was just a good time. And then in retro, or not, like later on, I find out that you were the person or the reason that brought this ball rolling, and it made me laugh so much because even afterwards, like the music had stopped, we stayed until closing. It was like way too late at this point, and we were like standing next to each other and kind of taking a minute because we always had a very platonic friendship and we didn't really understand what was going on. And he looked at me so lost. And I was like, wait, what changed? Like, what, if you were so lost and confused, what was it that changed? And he was like, well, Anais talked to me. And I was like, wait, what? And I think before that, at some point, you were also like, you're welcome. I was like, what did you do? Like, what is going on? And eventually I heard the story of you pulling him aside, and it made me laugh. You were a great wingman.
Thank you.
You were a very great wingman. It was great. Also, what I realized with this whole story, because obviously it can get a little messy when, like, you know, friends start kissing and who knows. But I shortly brought it up in therapy today. Very quickly at the end. And I think what I realized, and this is the part that, like, I'm so happy about, because I didn't have contact with him for 2 years. I didn't see him. I didn't really have contact with him for 2 whole years. It's been a really long time. Or almost a year and a half, 2 years. And
out of loyalty
by me messaging,
to your ex, no?
Yes, yeah. Out of loyalty to my ex, because my ex had issues with him. And he was always a good friend. I never really had issues, but my ex did. And then I was like, well, I'm going to be loyal to my ex and step away from that. It was okay. It sucked. It hurt me, but also, like, it is what it is. Last weekend, though, I didn't really have those loyalties anymore. And we ended up deciding to text him. And I was so happy to see him again. And I've lost some friendships over the last couple years that have been very, very important to me. And it was so healing on a level to have gotten a friendship back again.
Friendship?
Yes, friendship. First and foremost, friendship. Because that was always what he was to me and who he was. Like, we would go out for dinners and we talk about shit, and it was just always a really wholesome, good person. He's really nice, and he was always there for me, and I always felt that he cared. And it was such a good feeling, and one I didn't have a lot, especially when it came to men. Right? I've never really had a men friendship like I did with him. That was so platonic and so just sweet and caring, and without any kind of intentions behind it, you know? Does that make sense?
Mm.
So to gain that back, I didn't realize, but today I really noticed how significant that really was to me. And then on top of it, it ended so nice.
So how did it end? Don't leave us in suspense.
You really do want to know all the dirty details. Well, it ended up in front of Anais's apartment door. And we made out there quite intensely for about 2 hours before I sent him home.
I think the key thing that made me laugh the most as well when you told me this story is him saying, but I don't want to go home. It's so nice sleeping with other people. And you just go, oh, well, I don't care. I have someone to get into bed with.
Oh, yeah. He was like, oh, it's so sad to like sleep alone though. And I was like, well, I have a cat and a best friend to get in bed with. So, sorry, but I'm good. I think it also made it so there was no expectations, no pressure. He's very, very respectful, which is also something like we were texting a little yesterday, and I told him that I was like, you are very respectful, and I really appreciate that, and I felt that. And I think also because we've known each other for so long, but even because we didn't see each other for a while, but because our friendship was so intense in a lot of ways, and like working together in that place, it was very intense. And he got me out of some very icky situations, and we just bonded really well. So it was just something that wasn't just gonna go away, and that trust was there. And that was a whole different, because a lot of guys, actually every guy pretty much that I've dated so far, like proper relationships, serious relationships, have been men that I just met and immediately start dating.
Yeah.
And this was like the first time really that a really serious, beautiful platonic friendship all of a sudden, or not all of a sudden, it turned into a little bit more. And the nice thing as well is that we were both like, we don't want to like have any pressure. And even my therapist was like, it's probably quite nice that he's in Paris, you have some distance. And I said, yes, it is. And I'm there all the time to visit you. And it's nice to also like, I'm not there to like go visit him, but like, I'm happy to see him when I'm there.
You might have to plan in an extra day though.
Yeah, but like, that's fine by me.
Wednesday to Sunday.
That's not a big deal.
Is allowed.
Like, that's not, but it's still nice that like, it just takes a lot of pressure out of the whole situation. I think it's the first time I don't feel any pressure, which feels nice. And I got a really, really good friend back in my life after having lost a few. So that was kind of a win-win situation, really. It's quite cool. Yeah. And quite sexy.
Okay, before she gets hot flushes again, I think we might need to end the episode. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this little story time.
It was fun.
Kind of feedback, reflecting on past relationships.
I'm definitely feeling a little insecure about releasing this one, just because it's a lot of personal things, and it's a very interesting way to tiptoe into becoming more personal on the podcast, because I think up until now we've been a little shy of doing that.
Yeah, but I think also with this whole dating conversation and stuff, I think it'd be really nice also to get other voices in, other people that are kind of experiencing the...
For sure. It's still very intimidating, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, definitely, and I'm come from a place, I mean, for me... I'm really happy where I am in my relationship, but yeah, part of me is also like, the idea of being single right now is so scary. And even this whole, whilst we were out on Saturday, I had fun, I was dancing, and then sometimes people would come up to me and they'd want to dance with me, and I'd just go...
You were quite popular.
My mother listens to this. But I would physically just go, they'd come and be like, be interested, and I'd just go, no. I'd just shake my head and be like, no. And not because I didn't want to dance, but I just, like, not because they were guys and I'm in a relationship and I can't dance with anyone. Just didn't feel like it. I just didn't want to, and I didn't want to dance with them. I wanted to dance with you. I wanted to dance with my friends, but not with some stranger that wanted to dance. And I think some of them got really offended, and it was kind of, they were like, the rest.
Yeah, that's because they're French.
But some of them just kind of laughed. They were like, fair enough, you know? But saying that, like, no, I don't want to have to dance with some random guy I just met, also felt really good.
Good for you. Putting up boundaries.
So I think that's also okay. Anyone out there who
for sure
doesn't always enjoy dancing with strangers, it's okay to say no.
It's tricky dancing with strangers sometimes. Especially if you don't really have, I've always struggled with that because a lot of the time, I just really love dancing, and having a good dance partner is something that is very important to me, and I'd really, like, I think that's great. But often I just want to dance for dance sake, and I find it very frustrating when they come in for a kiss after a while and stuff, because I'm like, I'm here to dance. But maybe I should go to ballroom classes instead and not do that in clubs. I've started to realize that I think I go to clubs for the wrong reasons.
No, you're not the only one, you know. I also have a friend, the same friend who's on the dating apps that I mentioned earlier. He also goes to dance classes and stuff because he just enjoys dancing and he enjoys knowing the dance and doing the salsa. And even, you know what, next time when you come to Paris in the summer, we'll end with this. If you have had some dance classes, there are by the Seine, there's like an area where there's kind of little amphitheaters where you can just dance salsa and like on a Friday night. And it's not about meeting people and about, you know, but it's just about having a good time dancing, enjoying, not about.
I just don't know the steps. That's my issue.
Yeah.
I need to go figure that out.
You now have 6 months, 5 months to figure that out. And then in June, July, you'll come over and we'll do it.
I like that idea. All right. This was fun. I like doing like a lighthearted, not so serious, like information heavy episode. And I feel like we're going to put those in more regularly as well.
Yeah. We now have lots of, I can live vicariously through you. Live out our single day, girl. Our can't say the saying. I live vicariously through you to live out our single days. Does that make sense? I don't know.
That was perfect. That made a lot of sense. That was perfect. Before that, not so much. That one was good. All right.
Yeah. With that, we love you and we leave you. Take care.
And you'll hear us in 2 weeks.
Bye.
Bye.